Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between GuMiho and ShoWTimE on Newkirk Precinct. In the bottom left side of the map, we have the red Terran player. It is GuMiho. And in the bottom right side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player. It is ShoWTimE. This is from a series they had in WCS Katowice 2017. Grabbed this game because I thought it was interesting. Like ShoWTimE, I'm not entirely sure I've ever cast a game of GuMiho's before. Didn't do a search, but that is my impression. I've cast a lot of StarCraft on my channel over the last couple of years. Don't remember GuMiho unless it's from over a year ago. I'm probably wrong about that. Alright, Probe Scout out of ShoWTimE. Threw down the pylon, threw down the gateway, and then Probe Scouted. Barracks coming up from GuMiho. Will he open Reaper? Once again, Reaper's not very good in TVP in my personal opinion, but GuMiho is pretty non-standard, so we'll see if he does it anyway, just to see if he can throw ShoWTimE off. And let's see here, going out. Yes, indeed, 300 minerals, almost 400 minerals going out to throw down this Nexus as part of the Gateway Expand. The Expand refers to a Nexus, a second Nexus in your natural. Well, most of the time in your natural, not all the time though, depending on how sneaky you want to be. So Barracks is done. Probe tries to kill the SCV before it can finish building the Barracks, but gets there too late. Doesn't happen. And we do have a Reaper coming out from GuMiho, so this Reaper's name is, let's see, Verdrath, son of Lurdrath. Verdrath was cast out of the Dark Templar world of Shakuris for being the bastard child of the Praetor Ledrath and a Swarm Queen. Now he vows revenge on both his parents' species. Holy cow. So he's like from two different species his parents are, and he's mad at everyone because of that. That's a rough go, Verdrath. Alright, man. So gonna go ahead and try to kill the Protoss today. Not so much worried about the Zerg, as there are no Zerg to be found on this map. ShoWTimE does have a very sneaky probe up here, the very top section of the map in a weird place where GuMiho probably won't scout. I'd be interested to see, I wouldn't be surprised actually to see if there was a Stargate coming up here or something of the like. The Cyber Core is done, and ShoWTimE shows no sign of going for any higher tech at this point yet. Mothership Core is out. Adept just about to finish up here as well for ShoWTimE. And this Reaper. Verdrath is actually looking for something ShoWTimE might have been up to and has the right idea, just didn't actually find the probe. The probe happens to go the other way. Not that he would have been found anyway, but just putting a little bit more distance between him and the Reapers, which is what you want to do if you're a probe. Okay, just hiding up top. He wants to come in for a round 2 of scouting. A round 2 to see exactly what he's dealing with here. Adept gets some nice shots off on Verdrath. Verdrath has to retreat. The angles are too good for the Adept. She wants to chase him off, and a forward pylon being thrown down by ShoWTimE, but there are 2 Marines out. There is an SCV here. The Mothership Core is coming. She's moving as fast as she possibly can. Meanwhile, Verdrath being chased down by this Adept. Combat drugs are healing him up. He's going to live through another shot, which is wonderful. Oh, a Cyclone comes out as well, and the pylon gets shut down. GuMiho shuts down that early attempt of harassment by ShoWTimE extremely well there. 2 Marines and a Cyclone coming out. End of discussion. No more proxy pylons for you trying to throw down that photon overcharge. Go back home. Go back home, Mothership Core. Verdrath, you alive, man? Verdrath is alive, and he has full health. Those combat drugs are good. Good, man. Comes in, scouts. Oh, does see the Stargate. Does see that it's building a Phoenix. You can tell what it is by the shape of the little glowy things inside the Stargate. And 2 Adepts finally take down Verdrath. He doesn't kill anything, but he does scout the Phoenix. That is excellent, excellent information. He sees the 2 Adepts. That is likely going to be an Adept Phoenix opening out of ShoWTimE. And say it with me, Adept Phoenix is really good until about 12 minutes. Against Terran. Before 12 minutes, your chances of winning, I feel like, are 87%. After 12 minutes, they drop to about 5. I haven't seen Adept Phoenix work that well at the 13, 14, 15-minute mark against Terran at the pro level. It's just the upgrades start to kick in, the medevac numbers start to get higher around that point as well, and eventually your Adepts all die. The Phoenix aren't as good as they used to be against the number of Marines that are on the ground, and you're in trouble. So ShoWTimE, man, you are on a timer. I have to assume you know that you're on a timer, and we'll see how this is going to go. ShoWTimE is also throwing down a robotics facility. Our Terran player, GuMiho, is working on a reactor on his factory. He's got a barracks throwing down on another reactor and starting to double pump starported medevacs. And by starported medevacs, I don't mean that there are other types of medevacs that are not starported, because they all come from the starport. That would be interesting. What if, ooh, I have an idea. What if you could build other units out of, like, say the factory could build starport units, and the starport could build factory units, but for a penalty, right? So instead of your medevacs here costing 100, 100, if you built them out of the factory, it would cost, say, 150, 150. That way, in a pinch, you could do something different with your buildings, but it's not going to be something where you can just go, you know, mass medevac and use factories instead of starports or something like that. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. I think it's be an interesting idea, especially in late game situations where all you have is a starport, but you really need a tank or something. You could desperately chuck one out of your starport for that additional tax. It'd make for some interesting situations for sure. Not that Terran really needs more malleability or more flexibility in what they can do, but I just thought it'd be an interesting way of approaching things. All right, so a giant marine ball coming across the map here with a cyclone as well. Is my middle mouse button dying? Come on, middle mouse button, let's go. 20 marines on the ground and a cyclone, 2 medevacs as well. Trying to push on in here, but again, it's before the 12-minute mark, man. There are Adept Phoenix out. I don't know about this. GuMiho, I don't know why you're being so aggressive at this early in the game. I guess I kind of feel like you want to make ShoWTimE come to you, but... Alright, let's do this. 2 medevacs, got his marines, got stim, got working on combat shield, working on +1. Might be waiting for +1 before he finishes or decides to attack. There are some Widow Mines here at the front as well, strategically placed. There is a marine here at the third base of ShoWTimE, north of the natural, trying to kill stuff, but Adept finishes it off. Marines taking out a pylon at the front. That is photon overcharged. They traded a marine for that pylon. That's a fair trade, I would say. Oh, the scan and the immediate kill of the observer by GuMiho. Woo! Absolutely gorgeous play there out of GuMiho. It is Adept. It is Phoenix. It is a Resonating Glaives out of ShoWTimE. No question what he's doing. Meanwhile, we do have a bit of a drop into the main base, getting destroyed by those Phoenix, but then the Marines and the Cyclones here at the third base as well, killing so many probes. 16 probes have died. Here in the early part of the game, everybody lifts off and runs from the third, leaving the Cyclone to die to these Adepts. Sorry, man. We know you're good. You're not that good against that many Adepts, though. We're going to run now, but 16 probes killed this early in the game is such bad news. Such bad news. Another Observer and some Phoenix do manage to kill the Widow Mines that were burrowed and buried at the front door of ShoWTimE, so that's all cleared out, and GuMiho looks like he's heading home. He's got a third base under construction here to the right of his natural. He's just making additional barracks, additional medevacs, getting in some marauders here, as well, and continuing with the Widow Mine placement, or production for the placement. Again, the Widow Mines in amongst your Marines so that when the Adepts come in and warp on top of them, they get hit by Widow Mines and they get killed too. The difference being that medevacs can heal up the Marines for the damage they take, and there's no such thing for the Adepts. Phoenix flying right into this main base. There are no turrets here. No turrets. The responding units getting picked up and destroyed. Enough Marines finally show up to pick off a couple of those Phoenix. Meanwhile, Liberator here at the third base of ShoWTimE did get 3 probe kills before being forced to lift off and retreat by a warping in what group? Actually, nothing really warped in. There was just a pylon that could have been photon overcharged. Oh, Liberator back. Liberator is back. 4 kills on that Liberator, looking really bad. Phoenix still flying around. They've got that map control. So at this point, it is 6 SCVs killed to 20 probes killed, but it's 50 to 50 harvesters. Chrono Boost is really good, you guys. ShoWTimE's macro is impeccable as well. +1 attack done for the Adepts. Resonating Glaives done for the Adepts. Liberator finally dies, getting picked off by the Phoenix Cloud, but they had to come home to do it. 3 Adepts landing in the main base of GuMiho, getting shoved away by some Marines and some Marauders. Big attack of Adepts here at the front door at the third base of GuMiho. Again, there's a Widow Mine here that could get a nice shot off. Are they going to get... No, they cancel. They cancel the transfer. Just getting some shots off on this orbital command at the third base instead. Can they take it down? It's just hard for them to kill buildings because they don't do well against non-light units, but there are enough Adepts here that they might be able to pick this thing off. We're looking at a total of 29 Adepts finally forcing a liftoff on the third. Widow Mine does fire, not enough to really kill anything at this point. See how effective this is? It's 9 minutes into the game. The Adepts absolutely shut down this third base. The Phoenix shut down the third base. It's forced to lift off and land back inside the main. It wasn't constructed in the main. I almost said from whence it came, and 18 SCVs were killed in that attack. ShoWTimE feeling the pressure, trying to get up this ramp with its Adepts, but no, it's a wall. It is a wall of supply depots and bunkers. They can't get in where they want to go. They don't want to get outside the wall because that's just a good recipe for disaster, is what that is. A Phoenix trying to fly into the main base. There's a missile turret now, though, and a Liberator. That might be enough to chase them away, and yes, the Phoenix don't want anything to do with that one. Warp Prism trying to land, but oh no, the Marines and missile turret getting some shots off. They pick off the Warp Prism, and the Adepts on the ground get killed. Phoenix trying to save them. trying to save him a little bit. And you know what? Phoenix doing okay for themselves. But again, enough Marines on the ground with +1 attack and +1 armor and a missile turret that's able to shove that thing away. So some really good damage done by ShoWTimE at this point. It is effectively 3 base to 2 base. 59 to 38 Harvester. ShoWTimE has a 20 worker lead. So, all right. So essentially, Adepts and Phoenix have done enough damage, I think, to where ShoWTimE can make this work past the 12-minute mark. If you find yourself at a stalemate at the 12-minute mark, you're just going to lose. But if you've done enough work on your Terran opponent to set them back, then you're going to be okay. That said, ShoWTimE is transitioning to Colossus with extended thermal lance, getting +1 ground armor. Phoenix flying around by this main base of GuMiho, picking off a few more of these SCVs, getting shot at by missile turrets, just moving the wounded Phoenix away. No big deal at all. Trying to pick up units that are popping out of these barracks here and actually doing a lot of damage. Meanwhile, had another a Widow Mine drop here at the third base of ShoWTimE. Does kill 7 more probes. Widow Mines firing on the Phoenix. Phoenix count is 5. And they've lost 5 of them to this point. Marines and Marauders coming across the map with Liberator support to take down this third base of ShoWTimE, forcing a cancel there. That is a 4th base, rather. I apologize. 4th base here to the left of the Natural. Liberators setting up shop. Stalkers trying to get rid of those dudes. Colossus trying to burn through everything else. The Phoenix flying in to assist as well. The Colossus are managing to hold their ground. 1 dies, but 1 is still alive. And GuMiho is forced to retreat from this location. So reinforcements were coming from GuMiho. He doesn't like what he sees, though. He doesn't like the Stalkers and the Adepts and the Colossus, especially with that +1 attack. An extended thermal lance is done, but that 4th base was canceled, and ShoWTimE is forced to replant it. While GuMiho is relanding his 3rd base. He didn't fully prepare it, though. He's working on that, though. One of the SCVs is working on repairing it up from about 50% health to 100% health, which is where you want to be. Observer burned out of the sky near that 3rd base. ShoWTimE knows what's going on, but now he's in the dark with the rest of everybody else on the map who's also in the dark. I feel like there should be maybe civilian buildings on the map, right? Like people just setting up here. There's a town square and there's a shop and things. And during the course of the battle, you just can destroy them. Just one-shot all the buildings. Really would show the ravages of war quite effectively and how they affect the normal people, right? Because we just don't get that in StarCraft 2. There's no concern for the little people at all, really. Do we ever meet anybody who's not in a position of power? Like, Kate Lockwell might be the person in the least amount of power in the whole StarCraft universe that actually gets lines. It's an interesting thought. I've been reading some stuff about effective world building in games and just talking about the difference between games like the first Mass Effect, which do a great job of having you talk to just the peasants, effectively. The people who farm, the people who have regular jobs, who, you know, lose their house to the Reapers and their family's all been murdered by the Geth. But by the time Mass Effect 2 and 3 roll around, that just isn't the case. You don't really get a sense that anybody's being hurt by what's going on in those games. And StarCraft 2 might actually follow that same bit of a problem, that bit of a logic there. So Colossus count is 4 men with extended thermal lance and +1/+1. Liberator count is 4. Viking count is 2, with 4 more getting pumped out as we speak. ShoWTimE trying to come in from an angle from the right side, burning down some of these Widow Mines. These Marines are just no match, but the Marauder count is pretty high. We're at 17 Marauders for GuMiho, and that number is only going to increase as he continues to make more. +2 infantry weapons is on the way. Blink Stalkers picking off some of those Vikings that got a little bit too greedy, going after the Colossus. Widowmine does fire, taking down one of the Stalkers, injuring the others that were nearby. Collateral damage, if you will. Disruptors in production here as well. ShoWTimE just sieging this third, blinking in, picking off a Liberator. Losing some Stalkers in the process. Guardian's shield is up, getting rid of Widow Mines. This is a pretty intense back and forth battle. ShoWTimE, is he going to go for it is the question. He has an Observer with him. Stalkers really want to kill those Vikings as best as they can, trying to get flanked a little bit. Oh, GuMiho is trying to flank from the backside, but forced to chase away as the Colossus. Just too many of the Colossus, man. Oh, those Marauders and Marines are all gone. This third base might be out for GuMiho. He's forced to lift it off anyway. SCV is going to fight here as well. Great kiting backwards by ShoWTimE. The Vikings trying to get shots off as well. Everybody on the ground is dying. The Colossus are not getting directly attacked. Now they are. Now the Vikings are hitting them. The Stalkers, are there enough Stalkers to pick the Vikings out of the sky before the Colossus die? No. Doesn't look like it. Trying to some Warp Prism Micro to move the Colossus to the back lines, but unless they're at the back lines, they can't hit anything. And when they come forward to try to hit something, they get destroyed by these Vikings. Bam, everybody is dead. GuMiho wins the battle. Woo! And it's 100 to 89 total supply, so it's very close on that supply count. at the moment. GuMiho almost lost that third. He's lost 48 SCVs right now at 64 to 33 workers for ShoWTimE. Just a ridiculous advantage. But again, if you don't kill Terran all the way, you haven't killed Terran. All right, so some Adepts do try to come in here to the third base and kill some SCVs. They get distracted by some Marines that are trying to reinforce the front. No, get back. Try to kill SCVs, you guys. Come on. All right, I guess ShoWTimE's a little bit distracted by this attack at the front. He has a Disruptor. Almost gets some Knights up there. The Stalker's killing another Viking. 7 Vikings have died so far, but there are still 3 in the sky. GuMiho seems to have held off building any more right now. Are these Adepts? Yeah, the Adepts really never got on their mission of killing SCVs here at the third base. Instead, they tried to kill units moving across the map with a rally, so that was an interesting choice. Fourth base by GuMiho here north of his third. He actually lifted off his natural and landed it in that fourth base location. 121 to 132 total supply. ShoWTimE has been able to get up and rebuild his army a little faster than GuMiho. Again, 32 SCVs is not good, but at the same time, the number of mules on the map for the last couple of minutes has been fairly high. Marines, Marauders trying to take this north approach. Adepts scouting that stuff out, though. And Adepts actually trying to go murder some things. This Adept has 1 hit point. She's going to go scout the fourth base, try to kill something while she's there. Sonic transferring is the fastest way to go. Marines and Marauders, a small group here at the north side of the map, going to try to affect this third, but nice warping of Adepts. And there's a cannon here, too, but the cannon might die immediately, and it does. Cannons just get worse and worse as the upgrades get better and better in StarCraft 2. Couple probes die, and the medevac decides to boost on out of there at the fourth base. Fourth base, cylinder assault by an Adept, and now it's gone. GuMiho has cleaned that up very nicely as well. Upgrades at this point: Stim, Combat Shield, Concussive Shell +2, Infantry Weapons +1 Infantry Armor, and +1 Air Attack. Meanwhile, it's +2/+2 for the ground units for ShoWTimE. He's got Blink, and he's got Extended Thermal Lance. Production tab shows a Dark Shrine coming in for ShoWTimE, probably for, I want to say that's going to be for Archons rather than going to be for Dark Templar, just because Archons are great against a bio-heavy Terran player like this. The splash damage really does well against biological units like these Marines and Marauders that are clumped up. Vikings, again, trying to kill these Colossus. There are 3 of them. And GuMiho is actually down to 1 Viking right now, and there are 3 Colossus on the ground. Yes, he is going to restart his Viking production, which is exactly what he needs to do. Small group of Marines and Marauders doing some more harassment right here near the third base of ShoWTimE. 2 Adepts at the fourth base of GuMiho trying to kill more SCVs. They get 5 of them, but then have to get shut down. Marines and Marauders at the fourth base of ShoWTimE trying to kill some probes here as well. And Stalker Adept pretty good in this situation. Stalkers really want to kill that medevac, and they get it. They pick it off. That harassment is at an end for the GuMiho. GuMiho. It's like Rufio. Rufio. Medium-sized drop here for GuMiho. It's not a Droom drop. It's not a tiny drop either, but 3 medevacs full of units. Never mind. Heading back up. ShoWTimE's coming across the map, and he mad, yo. He mad. Viking count is back up to 3 with 1 more in production. Is 4 going to be enough here? Don't actually know. GuMiho does decide to move on with his medevac attack. Medevac attack to the main base of ShoWTimE. We'll see if ShoWTimE notices when he gets there, as he's kind of busy harassing this third base again, setting up between the third and the fourth bases of GuMiho, kind of controlling the space. But check this out, dropping all these units here in the main base. Double photon overcharge, triple photon overcharge, focusing down the medevacs, recognizing the medevac does increase the power of these Terran units by a lot. Dark Templar is here trying to clean it up and actually doing okay. Is there a scan for GuMiho? Oh, I don't know if he has a scan available. Oh, so many dead SCVs. Where do we get 30 dead SCVs from? I don't know, but oh, GuMiho here at the third base of ShoWTimE, taking that one down. Are we going to base race this thing? Looks like we're going to base race this thing. The army for GuMiho is on the right side of the map. The army for ShoWTimE is on the left side. 36 dead SCVs, 19 dead probes here. Fourth base of ShoWTimE getting rocked all at the same time. The fourth base of GuMiho on fire as well. Production facilities for GuMiho dying. There are a couple Liberators, 4 Liberators at the top of this ramp trying to hold it. The Stalkers get right on in there with their +2 attack and say, you know what? No. No, Liberators, we're not going to allow this. Meanwhile, just the pure damage being done here by GuMiho's army is massive. But these Dark Templar, ShoWTimE smart enough to leave some Dark Templar back home. No scans available. No scans available for GuMiho. He has an orbital command, but it's in the air. It can't actually make any scans at all. The Dark Templar are a brilliant choice. Seen this suggested in the comments time and time again. get some DTs for base defense in the event of a base raise, and it's working beautifully for ShoWTimE. So well for ShoWTimE. Got up. Who's the 5 kills on that Dark Templar? 10 kills on that Dark Templar. This army for GuMiho is looking really small right now. Is he just giving up? He's not even really microing against these Dark Templar attacks. The Protoss army is inside the main base. GuMiho's main is in complete shambles right now. GuMiho's forced to pick up and retreat and end his attack on the main. It's 102 to 25 total supply. ShoWTimE is in fact being revealed right now. GuMiho's trying to land his orbital command somewhere we can get scans off, somewhere he can maybe start mining again. It's his final building. ShoWTimE doesn't have enough money to make a Nexus or the ability to long distance mine. So ShoWTimE is, I mean, unless he could take down this army, he's in a lot of trouble. DTs show up, kill another Marine. If you can kill something here from GuMiho, it's going to be a win. GuMiho asking for a draw. Oh, GuMiho. He's ShoWTimE asking for a draw, rather. GuMiho says yes. He says yes because he doesn't have any flying units. He has no ability to make any more flying units, and that's it. It's a draw. Good game. Whoa. That might be the first professional draw I've ever cast. Oh no, so you Protoss fans who are rooting for ShoWTimE are upset because flying buildings are such junk. That's what people are saying in the comments right now. And Terran fans are like, man, should have beat ShoWTimE there. Couldn't do it, but I guess we'll take a draw. That's the response here to these flying buildings. That's why you got to save a Phoenix. Save a Phoenix somewhere. If you're a Protoss, man. He had a bunch. He had a lot of Phoenix at one point, but he lost all of them. He lost all 10. And so it's a draw. Bummer. Bummer. So 31,000 resources lost for GuMiho. 92 SEVs and 31. Is that the same? Yeah, 31,000 resources lost. Just more gas for ShoWTimE and 81 probes. That was a slugfest. A slugfest of a TVP. Too bad it had to end in a draw. Again, I really feel like we should have something where flying buildings just run out of fuel eventually. Eventually, like not right away. After 2 or 3 minutes, they start losing the ability to fly and then fall and crash. It's just the ability. This is just no other race has a way to force a draw by flying their buildings off and having that count. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Well, all right. That's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.